Your weight is not to blame for your health problems. You are not to blame for your health problems.
So, like, as a general rule for life, in my opinion, it really is your fault that you end up the way that you are. And yeah, a lot of like outside influences can have to do with how you turn out and what you do for a living and whatnot. But at the same time, you are doing what you're doing to end up the way that you are. And when it comes to being overweight, there is no exception there. You're either overindulging in food to cope with emotion, or there's something else going on that you don't quite understand that's making you eat a lot more than the average person. And it is your fault for acting that way, and you should seek help for that.
Society paints a skewed picture of a perfect body when the perfect body does not exist without disordered behaviors. The BMI is outdated. The medical world is built off of outdated practices and needs to be updated. We have the knowledge and the technology to make things better, but we just don't, because it's easier to diagnose someone with being overweight than actually try to help them. I've got dense as fuck bones and a ton of muscle mass. According to the BMI, I should be dead, LMAO. I'm the first to admit I'm overweight, but clearly not morbidly. So I'm 5'9" and I weigh 260 pounds, and I don't look at all like I weigh that much. So TBH, I prefer people with some meat on their bones. The BMI was created for weaklings, not an ounce of muscle.
I can agree with them as far as like the BMI scale being outdated and not really super relevant, but it's not for the reason these people try to portray. It's like being right for the wrong reasons. So for those of you who don't know, basically the BMI scale is to measure your height and weight and see if you're in a healthy range for your height to be weighing what you are. Now, what this is supposed to correct is if you have a high body fat percentage. Now, the comparison I usually like to do is if someone's 300 pounds and they eat KFC every day and eat a lot of sugary snacks and whatnot, and they eat like 4,000 calories a day, versus someone like The Rock who's just up on their gear and they got a lot of muscle mass, obviously the doctor's going to walk in and be like, The Rock is much healthier. Maybe taking the steroids out of the situation, The Rock would be healthier than someone who is morbidly obese in that case. So yeah, it's outdated, but it's for different reasons than these guys are trying to push it as.
Fat shaming is not okay, Miss 108 pounds. Would you talk to a human client that way? Making one comment is bad, but you kept doing it. Shame on you for acting that way. If I were his owners, I would truly be offended by your hurtful remarks.
This brings up one of the biggest things I dislike about the obese community and the body positivity community. They claim body positivity at the same time as they will body shame someone in the same sentence. Calling someone Miss 108 pounds and making a comment about their weight because they weigh too little is extremely arrogant and rude when you're trying to spread a body positivity kind of message. But the thing is, with these people, you will find that the only bodies they find acceptable are ones that cannot ride roller coasters.
Warmth, big hugs, laughter, connection, delicious foods, buoyancy in the water, curves, rolls, dancing, and the list goes on. I'm not going to read all this, but please pause the video and feel free to do so on your own time. There are still people out there who believe the obesity epidemic is real. That's embarrassing. Here's a hot take that shouldn't be as steamy as it is. The personal feelings of skinny people should never trump the lived experience of fat people. Someone telling you to eat will never be the same as someone telling you to starve. At the end of the day, skinny people are the standard in society. It doesn't matter what you feel about yourself or the rude jokes that people make at your expense. You have the ideal body type, nothing will change that.
So here's another layer of hypocrisy when it comes to the obesity, body positivity community. They proclaim and exclaim and determine that skinny people have the ideal body type in society, while at the same time trying to portray that their body shape is somehow optimal. And I honestly, every time I hear a circle of logic like this, it kind of makes me laugh a little bit.
Being fat and having skinny friends is a trauma in its own.
Having friends of different body types apparently is a trauma of some sort. If you think this way, genuinely, if you think this way, go contact a therapist. Doesn't even need to be a good therapist. Doesn't even need to be great. Like a 3.5 star, go for that, all right? They will help you more than posting on the internet about your health problems will help you.